Hello everyone, my name is Devin, and thank you for tuning to my channel, Devin's Mastermind. So as you know, me and Trip, we're going to start a new also YouTube channel. Besides that Mastermind, it's going to be called Trip and Devin Inaugural. I don't know why I put inaugural in there. I guess because football is a championship, and I know they say inaugural championship, so that's why I put that down. And we're gonna have a new YouTube channel, so make sure y'all tune in for that one. Okay, next up, I want to get into Chip. I know you're a good wrestling person. You were good at wrestling, so I know you went 4-1 in wrestling matches yesterday. So how's that for you? How's that working out for you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I felt like I wrestled pretty well, especially coming off a bad performance at my last tournament. And I appreciate y'all for supporting. Wow. Felt like I could have gone 5-0. Had that tough match, lost my points, but feeling good. Just a little sore, but
yeah,
you know how it be.
But don't worry, Trip. You get hang up. You'll get to the point where you be the dominating wrestler in the history of wrestling sports history. All right. So next up, I want to get into let's take a look at those Vikings. Those Vikings came back from 33 down to beat the Indianapolis Colts, and not just that. This is Matt Ryan's second blown lead. He blew the lead in the Super Bowl 28-3, and now he's blown the lead 33-0 against Vikings.
Yeah, they choked. So it was Matt Ryan's now giving up the biggest Super Bowl lead and the biggest NFL lead, and it was just crazy to see Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. It's just, they went on one of those runs like the Golden State Warriors do sometimes, where they just seemed unstoppable. And obviously the Jeff Saturday inexperience at coach for the Colts probably helped, not knowing how to manage that lead. What did you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, because the Colts, they just bad all around. They bad offensive wise, they bad defensive wise, they bad everything. And I ain't trying to say this, but Matt Ryan got to go. Somebody got to get that man out of there, because if that man keeps getting in and playing, that man is gonna ruin the sport forever.
And you know, they've tried Sam Ellinger at quarterback, and that didn't really work out. So I think it's time for that they tank for somebody like Bryce Young in the draft or C.J. Stroud.
Okay, another one. Do you think the Cardinals should tank?
I think we should. Now that our season's pretty much over, it's pretty much impossible for us to make the playoffs, especially with Kyler Murray hurt. So I think we should just lose these next 3 games, get like the 7th or 8th pick probably, and you know, all around we need some help. I don't think Kyler Murray's the problem. The main thing is our GM and Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, I
think we need a rebuild with Kyler Murray. Get rid of J.J. Watt, maybe even DeAndre Hopkins, just to free up some money. But the only thing is that with D-Hop, we didn't give him a bunch of money. We got him in a trade, so it's not like it's not like we have to get rid of him, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we just get a good draft pick and free up some cap space. Start the rebuild with Kyler and D-Hop.
And just to tell y'all, this is Trip and Devin Part 3. Part 3. Alright, so next up I want to get into, you know, the NFC South. The NFC South is interesting. It was like the NFC East back in 2020 when all those teams were second. But now the Saints beat the Falcons, so they're both 5-9. And then the Panthers lost, so they're 5-9. And then the Buccaneers might lose to the Bengals today. Hopefully seeing how it goes. So what is so interesting about the NFC South to you?
Well, all the teams stink, to be honest. The Buccaneers got drilled by the Panthers, but then the Panthers at times look below average, and then obviously the Falcons and Saints have been below average the whole year. I mean, the Saints got blown out by the Cardinals, who stink, so...
42-34, yeah.
Yeah, so... The Andy Dalton pick 6, and the score was kind of close, but the game wasn't. Like, the Saints had a garbage time touchdown. So
yeah, like Andy Dalton is just a garbage quarterback, and he needs to retire. Jameis Winston is a garbage quarterback. He needs to retire. We all know Matt Ryan is a garbage quarterback. He definitely needs to retire. But either way, like I said, that NFC South is just something different. It's something different, and I mean in a sucky way, not in a good way, in a bad sucky way.
Devin, as a Saints fan, what do you think the Saints need to do to be Super Bowl contenders?
But the Saints need to go ahead and draft a quarterback from the draft, or get one of these quarterbacks. I wouldn't say get one of these quarterbacks, because now these quarterbacks starting to suck. They ain't good like they used to be when you could get them from a different team. I would say definitely draft a quarterback. Just draft one. And then you already got a good wide receiver core, I think. It's just that you need to draft a quarterback. And Alvin Kamara, I think, needs to stay at running back. But he needs to get way more touches. He needs to get like 30 touches for like 150 yards. He needs to have that kind of game, unless for the Saints to be a threat. So that's all I'm saying. That's what the Saints really need to do right there. What about you?
Obviously the quarterback situation, and obviously with the Sean Payton retiring and the new coach.
Dennis Allen.
Yeah, he's struggled his first 2 seasons, but I think it's a little too early to think about a coaching change. But they definitely struggle a bit. But they'll be better when Michael Thomas comes back next year. He's out for the year now.
And not just to mention, they can still make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
All the Buccaneers has to do is lose today. And I think, will the Saints get in first place? I think so. They'll be in first, or no, because the Buccaneers are 6 or 7, so they'll be a one
but
game.
But they still
ahead.
have a chance.
Yeah. All right, next up, I want to get into the Lions. How do you feel about the Detroit Lions now?
Well, as you mentioned to me, they've been on a roll recently with that Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown duo. And Jamal Williams, who's been scoring touchdowns like crazy as that good goal line running back. And the main problem is their defense, but they've been stepping up lately with that Dan Campbell mindset as their coach. And, I think it'd be tough for them to be a playoff team, to be a playoff team, because they're, 6 and 7?
Well, they're 7 and 7, so they can actually.
Oh, they just won?
Yeah, so all they gotta do is win 3 more games, and they'll be a playoff contender. And I think they're the dangerous team in the NFC.
Yeah,
to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're dangerous right now because they're hot right now. It's hard for them to lose. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. What do you think about the Lions?
I think the Lions are way better than the Falcons. They will always be way better than the Falcons, even if they ain't got no rings. Because look at that, the Lions are already 7 and 7. I mean, that's a crazy record to have, and you coming back from it. It would have been different if they were like 7 and 4 and then they lose 3. But the thing is, look, Mama, I don't care about your Falcons, so I'm not hurt by it. So either way, I want to say this. It would have been different if they're 7 and 3 and then they went 7 and 7, but now they're 4 and 7 and they're going 7 and 7. So they're coming back from the dead. So I think that's really good to see. And I think the Lions, they'll win a Super Bowl someday. The question is when.
All right, what's the next topic?
Next topic is Steph Curry. He's supposed to be out a few weeks. How's your thoughts on that?
Obviously with the Warriors, I know it's early in the season, but they're already out of the top 8 and won't even be in the play-in tournament probably by the time he returns, because you just look at the stats and they're just not as good as a team without Curry. And they've already been strong. What are they, 10th or 11th in the West?
10th, I think 10th. They're like 14 and 15.
Yeah, even with them, they've been struggling. Now he's out with that shoulder. Things are going to get worse. What do you think?
I think, it's going to get worse. It's about to go down. So next up, I want to get into, as you know, who's the best team in the West? It's between the Grizzlies, Pelicans, Suns, just those 3. Which one do you think is the best?
I just think the Suns as an all-around team, in my opinion, because of CP3 and Devin Booker. Yeah, they've got a really good backcourt, and they've got a good center. Who's their center?
DeAndre
Ayton. Yeah. He's pretty solid. And I know the Suns and CP3 are known to kind of choke in the playoffs, but I think this is their year because they've got good bench depth too. What do you think?
I think so. And I also wanted to say, here's your question, thoughts on this. Do you think Devin Booker has surpassed to be one of the greatest Suns players of all time? Because, you know, Charles Barkley was in that category, but he never got to deliver them a championship. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think Devin Booker is the greatest Suns player of all time to ever lay a basketball on?
I think he'd definitely have to win a ring because Barkley's an all-time great. You got to think of Steve Nash as well. He was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Did Nash ever win a ring?
I don't think so.
At least with the Suns, I don't think he did. But I think if he were to
Bless you.
Sorry. I think if he were to win a ring, he'd be up there.
Yeah, I would say too. But as I look at Devin Booker scored 70 points in the game. Charles Barkley never scored 70 points, I think, in a game. I think the most he scored was like 50 something, if that. So I just wanted to say, yeah, I think Devin Booker. To me, I think he's the greatest Suns player to ever lay a foot on and shoot. All right. So next one, I want to get into the Cowboys choke. And you know what Stephen A is going to be saying? He's going to be saying, "How about them Cowboys? What is about them Cowboys?"
Well, obviously the Cowboys are a good team, but their defense looked atrocious against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars have a rather average quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Lawrence, but a lot of people see him as good. But yeah, then was it Noah Brown who had that wide open catch? Then he got out, and then the Jaguars took it for a pick six. But I think the Cowboys are a good team, especially with Dak getting back in rhythm from his injury. But you know, he had 2 picks, but one of them wasn't his fault. But I think the Cowboys are fine.
Yeah, me too. So looks like I think we covered it all for today.
All right.
So I just want to say thank you for having me.
All right.
And remember, we're gonna have a show called Trip and Devin. So remember to tune in today. And love y'all. Thank y'all. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye. Peace.